Welcome, ladies and lords, to the Tandem Yeti video, where today I will be reviewing the Smashing Pumpkins album Gish. Now, this is the first album released by the Smashing Pumpkins, and I'm going to go through each album released by the Smashing Pumpkins in order, and I'm going to review each one individually, looking at each song as well, and then giving my thoughts and kind of giving an overall out of 10 for each album, so we can just so I can learn about the progression of the Smashing Pumpkins. And I'm going to pick some other bands to do this with as well when I finished. But I think it'd be good to explore new music that I haven't heard and listen to it. I just love the idea of sitting down and listening to a full album, and I think doing these reviews will help me do that. So I've written some notes here in my little notepad here. And for each individual song. So the album starts with the song I Am One. Now this is a very strong start. It throws you right in there with a heavy kind of head bopper song with a catchy like chorus, and there's a good instrumental and guitar solo thrown in there too. So I think it's a pretty good start for the album and for the Smashing Pumpkins in general. Now, this isn't the very first Smashing Pumpkins song ever, I don't think. I don't consider it to be, because they did make songs before this album, but they didn't release them in like an album. There's just some live footage of them playing these songs. And then I think maybe in a future album, Piskies Escarot, they released some new versions of them. But they're really good. They're really my kind of thing. So I'll talk about them later on when we get to them in the Piskies Escarot version. But there's a live recording. I might put that in the description, a live recording of them playing all these songs, which they didn't actually release in album form. So this is the first album they released, and this is the first album song that they released. So this is where we start. I Am One. I Am One. I think it's a good song to start with in the Smashing Pumpkins journey. But the kind of heavier stuff, I prefer the more kind of laid back Smashing Pumpkins. I know, but I appreciate that the heavy stuff is really good for what it is, and I do really enjoy it when I'm in the mood for that kind of stuff. But overall, I would give that first track a 6 out of 10. And then it's immediately followed by the track Shiva, which is a very chaotic track. I thought it was very much like I Am One. It kind of gave the same kind of feeling. But then it did go calmer for a while, but it still was that same kind of feel. And I think this album really is the Smashing Pumpkins kind of finding their new sound, kind of a bit more kind of a rock kind of sound, heavy rock kind of sound, rather than the kind of goth indie sound that they were going for before this. But Billy Corgan's voice from the very get-go, from the very start, very mystical, very unique voice, very magical kind of voice. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy the Smashing Pumpkins so much. And then this is shown off even more in their next song, Rhinoceros. Shiva was again a 6 out of 10. Rhinoceros, a nice kind of introduction where it kind of faded into the song. It felt very kind of ethereal. It was kind of floating around at the start. And this is what I like. I like these kind of calmer sections of the Smashing Pumpkins, and I like how they contrast with the heavier sections. And I think this is really what does it for the Smashing Pumpkins for me. The chorus was very good, and then it had the last 40 seconds suddenly went really abstract and strange. I really enjoyed that. So I'm going to knock this song up to a 7 out of 10. Enjoyed it thoroughly. A nice 6-minute long song as well, so you can enjoy it for a good length of time. And then we have the song Bury Me, which is another catchy tune. We had some crazy guitar. The guitar went absolutely insane in this track. I enjoyed it a lot. A nice 3-minute ditty. And even though this was a heavy song, I think I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed Rhinoceros, giving it also another 7 out of 10. And then we get to the song Crush, which immediately I could tell this was going to be my kind of thing. This is going to be a lot more the type of Smashing Pumpkins that I enjoy. A lot slower, and it kind of sounded like the Beatles, like the melody kind of guitar line sounded a lot like the Beatles, what they would be doing. And then this contrasted really well with the heavier stuff earlier on in the album. So I'm giving this track an 8 out of 10. Thoroughly enjoyed it. My favorite one of the album so far. And then we have the track Suffer. So we're given another kind of slower song, but it does get heavier later on. I definitely enjoyed it, a very compelling rhythm. But I think that's going to go back down to a 7 out of 10. And then we have the song Snail, which is, despite the name, it's not as slow. It's a faster song, but it does start calm. It does get heavier, and I'm gonna give that another 7 out of 10. I think. Then we have the song Try Tessa. I wasn't like enjoying it to incredible amount, but I definitely think it was another good song, another 6 out of 10. I'm kind of going to go speeding through them now. We have the song Window Pane. This one stood out to me a lot. It was a good kind of effective kind of piece, very mysterious, very mysterious sounding. It was excellent stuff. And then we have the final track, Daydream, which was great. I really my kind of stuff. Giving it an 8 out of 10 because I like Crush, my kind of stuff. Daydream, my kind of stuff, 8 out of 10. Kind of sounded a bit indie, kind of, it was a very kind of, seemed a lot more like that kind of stuff that they were maybe doing before this album, but they carried over into this one, which was nice. And then at the end of that track, there's a bonus track called I'm Going Crazy, which it was a nice little secret. It was very enjoyable to find. And I think it was so good. It deserves to be a full song, but it does end the album very well, giving that another 8 out of 10. So I think overall, we've got a few 8 out of 10s, mostly 6 out of 10s, a few 7 out of 10s. I think overall, I think this album, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 because honestly, I'm doing these reviews more for the laser smashing pumpkin stuff, which I've heard and I really, really enjoy. So this isn't really as enjoyable for me, but I do appreciate it. So I think this is something I'm going to give 6 out of 10, just so there's more room for to enjoy more and give it higher up marks with future albums, because I know the impact and the excellent stuff that we have in store for future albums. So this album, 6 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed this review, because if you didn't, then it was a waste of your time. But thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.